This is Lenny the Lawyer Live, coming to you today from Clifton, New Jersey. And I want to talk about the upcoming economic crisis so that you can get ahead of this before it hurts you. Right now, banks are foreclosing in record numbers and in quantities that haven't been seen since before the pandemic. And the protections that you enjoyed during the pandemic are all gone. But there is hope. And before we get too far into this video, make sure you take note of the following housekeeping items. Number one, this video is for informational purposes only. This is legal education and information. It is not legal advice. Legal advice is only given during a consultation in an attorney's office or in a secure video conference, not on YouTube or any other social media platform. And with all that out of the way, let's begin. Jerome Powell recently raised interest rates aggressively and continued to state that he's going to fight inflation aggressively. Now, what that means for you is that the cost of borrowing money and the value of your income is going to sink. It's going to fall like a rock. Right now, banks are foreclosing in numbers that we haven't seen since the pandemic. Typically, when a bank forecloses, their desire is to turn a non-performing loan into a performing loan so that they can make more money. Now, if the bank forecloses on you, you don't have to lose your house. You have options available to you. The experienced attorneys at Boyer Coffy, LLC, can fight the banks for you. Whether your lender is a traditional bank or a private lender, we have solutions and we have alternatives to foreclosure. One of the most powerful alternatives to foreclosure is your right under federal law, a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. By filing a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, your home will be protected. All lawsuits against you will stop. Section 362 of the United States Bankruptcy Code, commonly known as the automatic stay, goes into effect. And nobody can sue you after that happens unless they file a motion and get specific permission from the Bankruptcy Court to do so. Now, in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy to save your home, here's a brief synopsis of what I'll do for you. First, I will give you a bankruptcy questionnaire. In that questionnaire, you'll list all your income and expenses and all your assets and liabilities. We will be able to download your credit report, your 3-bureau credit report, into our software. So you will only list those creditors that do not report to the credit bureaus, such as doctors, hospitals, painters, plumbers, all sorts of service providers that don't report to the credit bureaus. In addition to that, as I've mentioned earlier, under Section 362 of the Bankruptcy Code, all legal proceedings against you are halted unless and until a creditor gets the permission of the Bankruptcy Court to do so. And that's not an easy burden to meet unless you've committed some act of fraud. When we file the bankruptcy petition, you are protected. What you will do is I help protect your identity from people that would steal your identity. When your creditors call, you will give them my name and number as your attorney. Of course, you have to retain my firm or me to be your attorney in order to do that. But that's common sense, and you knew that anyway. So when the creditor calls, they're frequently collectors working on a commission basis. They'll tell you anything and everything to separate you from your money because they know the average person doesn't have the resources, the skills, or the knowledge to fight back. So you tell the creditor, my attorney's name and number. You give them my name and my office number. Now, when they call me, I'm going to tell them, look, if you think I represent so-and-so, then this is my office address. Send me a letter. And if it's appropriate, I'll send a response to that letter. However, in a large percentage of the time, that creditor is going to call you and tell you the attorney said he doesn't represent you. Just hang up the phone. It doesn't matter. If you get anything in the mail that scares you or frightens you, you will be able to scan it in an email and send it to me. And unlike a lot of other law firms, my firm is different. You, as a client, will have my personal business cell phone number, so you'll always be able to get in touch with me when something happens that concerns you. Now, when we file the petition, your Chapter 13 Petition and Plan with the US Bankruptcy Court, we will also file a motion to get you admitted to the Bankruptcy Court's Mortgage Modification Program. And this is a very important way that we can save your home for you. By filing through the Bankruptcy Court's Mortgage Modification Program, everything that you file is time-stamped, and it goes through something called the DMM portal. And if the creditor doesn't do what they're supposed to do, I can bring that to the attention of the Bankruptcy Court. Now, until you're approved for a trial modification, you will be making a payment to the mortgage company outside of your Chapter 13 plan. Your Chapter 13 will have a plan payment to the Chapter 13 trustee that our office will calculate for you, and you will make a mortgage payment outside the plan to your mortgage company. If property taxes are not included in your mortgage, you'll be responsible for paying those as well. Now, if the lender approves your application for a mortgage modification, depending upon the lender, you will make 3 to 6 trial payments. And once you've completed that in a timely fashion, which means each payment must be on time and in the lender's possession and posted to your account. More about that when we meet in person. But the lender will then approve you for a permanent mortgage modification. Typically, it will be for 40 years, and it will be at whatever the prevailing interest rate is. Now, a lot of people will tell you all sorts of stories and give you some guarantees. The fact of the matter is, and this is not intended as a joke, in litigation, the only guarantee is there are no guarantees. What I will tell you is that you will have, in all likelihood, a lower monthly payment for your mortgage than you would otherwise and than you have now. However, it is extremely important to make all payments on time. And in the course of a consultation, we will explore everything in greater detail and answer all your questions and address your concerns. Now, I also tell my clients, contrary to what you may have heard, most mortgage companies will not, I repeat, not reduce the principal balance of your mortgage. If, however, it does happen, and I'm telling you, don't expect it to happen, but if it does happen and you're lucky enough to have a mortgage modification approved and your principal balance reduced, consider yourself lucky. Don't expect it. Realistically, I will also do everything in my power to prevent your mortgage from having a balloon payment. In addition to that, if you have a certain amount of equity in your house that's less than the exemptions allowed based on where you file, that can be applied against other assets that would otherwise not be exempt. Or if you have no equity in the property, a wild card exemption would be applicable to other things. Any retirement accounts are exempt from creditors' claims, and we will go over what is and is not dischargeable in your bankruptcy during an in-person or secured video consultation. It's important that you act quickly because interest rates are rising. The economy is unstable, to say the least. And while I don't have a crystal ball and I can't predict the future, I know housing prices don't always go straight up. They come down. How long they'll come down for and to what extent, no one knows. And anyone that claims they know doesn't know what they're talking about. Bankruptcy is your right under federal law, and every single religion recognizes your right to go bankrupt. And there's no reason for you not to avail yourself of the protection and benefits of federal law if you're entitled to them. Now, this may not have been the most entertaining film that you watched this week, but I hope it's informative, and I hope to hear from you. If you have any questions or concerns, contact my office. You can reach Boyer Coffy, LLC at 973-798-6131. We give your case personal attention. To us, each client is always a name, not a file number. And we take your personal satisfaction with us and with the results we try to get you very importantly. I personally feel an obligation to protect my clients and help them as much as I can when they're fighting the banks. I want you to keep your home. I want you to keep your family life as normal as possible. We offer aggressive, affordable representation. We are not bargain basement attorneys, but we are fairly priced for our services and our level of experience. Now, if you have further questions or you'd like me to make a video to explain other things, or you want to schedule a consultation, please call 973-798-6131, and we'll be happy to schedule a consultation for you, either in person or by secure video conference. And in that consultation, then and only then can you have legal advice. Also, one other thing I want you to be aware of. There are various social media sites or other so-called legal websites where people can ask attorneys questions. It's never a good idea to put your questions in specific terms on those sites. Rather, call an attorney's office where attorney-client privilege applies. Anything you say online is not necessarily going to be beneficial or helpful to you. We take great pride in getting good results for our clients. So call us and let us try to get good results for you. Thank you for watching. We appreciate your time and have a great day.